members of the National Council of the Slovak Republic. Very honored here that they are visiting Taiwan in this very important visit. So first, allow me to introduce them quickly, and then I'll be inviting them, each one of them to speak briefly, and then we'll be opening the floor, and we'll be taking questions from the reporters. Is that okay? So first, I would like to introduce the head of the delegation, also the Deputy Speaker of the National Council, the Honorable Milan Laurenčík, here on my right-hand side, here. 我们的团长，斯洛伐克国会的副议长，他也是外交委员会的成员哦。我们的这个劳伦契克副议长。Also here on my left-hand side, we have the chairman of the Taiwan Friendship Group of the Slovak the Parliament of the National Council here, the Honorable Peter Osuský. Here, 我们友台小组的主席欧舒斯基议员。And also here, very important with us, we have the president of the Bratislava region. We have the Honorable Juraj Droba. 我们这个布拉提斯拉瓦的省长德若巴省长。Here also with a very important group of legislators together with me. I'm here, the Honorable Anna Zemanová. She is the member of the National Council and also she's member of the National Committee. 我们的国防委员会席曼诺娃议员。Also here we have Honorable Mr. also Tomáš Lehotský. He is also a member of the Finance and Budget Committee. Very important here. 财政委员会的这个列霍茨基议员。Honorable MP Lehotský. Also here we have together with us the Honorable Member Miroslav Žiak. He's member of the National Council and also the European Affairs Committee. And he's speaking Mandarin. Look at that. Very good. 欧洲事务的齐阿克议员。And also last but not the least, a very important member of the delegation we have here, Honorable Andrej Stančík. He is also member of the National Council and also member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. And who is graciously helping us to translate Slovak into English. Thank you very much, Your Honorable. 帮我们这次担任这个翻译斯洛伐克的英文的这个史丹奇议员史丹奇议员他是外交委员会的议员特别感谢他。So having introduced them of them right now, may I have the honor also to invite the head of the delegation, our Deputy Speaker, but perhaps to address the audience. 我们先请我们的这个副议长致辞 and thank you for making the translation as well. MP Stančík, yes, you'll be translating in English, right? Yeah, thank you.
Vážená pani Joanne, vážený pán ambasador David Lee, vážené dámy, vážení páni, je mi nesmiernou cťou, že tu môžem dnes byť s vami, s celou našou delegáciou.
Dear Madam Joanne, dear Mr. Ambassador Lee, dear distinguished guests, dear press, it's a great honor to be here with our delegation today.
Vďaka pánovi ambasadorovi Davidovi Lee sa podarilo zorganizovať návštevu slovenskej skupiny priateľov Tajvanu zo Slovenska u vás na Tajvane.
Thanks to Mr. Ambassador David Lee, we were able to organize this visit of friends of Taiwan from Slovak Parliament here in Taipei.
Počas našej návštevy nás čaká bohatý program. Od rana do večera sa stretávame s rôznymi predstaviteľmi štátnej správy, s vládnymi predstaviteľmi, s predstaviteľmi parlamentu, s vedcami, s podnikateľmi a prezentujú nám všetko to, čo vedia, čo dokázali a na základe čoho sa my môžeme inšpirovať.
During our very rich and full program, we are meeting people from the politics, people from the business, from academia, and we are discussing, and they presented us everything Taiwan has achieved about from politics through economy and technology, and it's a source of great inspiration for us in Slovakia.
Chcel by som vám tlmočiť aj pozdravy ostatných priateľov Tajvanu v slovenskom parlamente. Je nás ďaleko viac Na návštevu sa nás podarilo zobrať iba niekoľko, ale tá skupina je veľká. Slovensko podporuje Tajvan.
I'd like to extend our gratitude from other members of Slovak-Taiwanese friendship in Slovakia, because our delegation represents just a portion of friends in Taiwan in Slovakia. Just to be more precise, there were visits from Slovakia, the members of Taiwanese friendship group. Nowadays, there's a prime minister who also visited Taiwan, another deputy of the parliament, and also ministers and state secretaries.
Na vaše zvedavé otázky, ktoré ste si určite pripravili na túto tlačovú konferenciu, budú odpovedať moji kolegovia. Hlavne to bude predseda skupiny priateľstva, pán Osuský, a predseda samosprávneho kraja, Bratislavského samosprávneho kraja, pán Juraj Droba.
My colleagues will answer to your questions, but mostly it will be Mr. Chairman Osuský and Mr. President of Bratislava region, Mr. Droba.
Ďakujem veľmi pekne za vašu pozornosť.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. We would request a translation to Mandarin right now for 家好. So please, Mandarin. Thank you.
李大使，各位媒体的朋友们，非常荣幸能够今天来到这边，也非常感谢在李大使这么努力跟我们一起，我们目前跟我们一起努力的准备之下呢，我们也成功的组团来到台湾。那我们这一团大家都是斯洛伐克的台湾友人，那很棒，很高兴能够来到台北。这次的行程内容非常的丰富，我们跟许多在台湾的产官学界分别讨论了许多台湾在政治、经济以及科技方面的成就。当然，这次能够成行，也非常感谢许多在斯洛伐克的其他在台友人。我们这一次组团来台，我们这11个人当中，其实也只不过是我们斯洛伐克的台湾友人的一部分。我们在斯洛伐克也有很多在各个部会，甚至在国会里面还有很多非常支持台湾、非常友好台湾的朋友们。那等一下呢，媒体的提问呢，我们主要会由友台小组的 Osuský 主席以及德罗巴布拉提斯拉瓦省的 Droba 省长来帮大家回答问题。
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. So before I proceed, I also would like to acknowledge the presence of very distinguished guests amongst us in the audience. So allow me to first also introduce Ambassador David Lee. He's our representative of Taiwan in Slovak Republic. 我们驻斯洛伐克的代表林南洋李大使。Also very important, we have Mayor, Mr. Mayor from Malaki City. We have here Mayor Juraj Droba. 我们有布拉提化的马拉基市的市长 Mr. Mayor here with us. So honored. Thank you so very much here. Also very important ladies here with us. Equally important, we have here Ms. Andrea Urmanikova. She is also director. She's the power behind the throne. Yes. Hello. Yes, she Director of the Office of the President of Bratislava. And also very important here, we have Ms. Michaela Rumska. She's Deputy Director also, yes, of the protocol here also. And also we have here Deputy of the Slovak here in Taiwan here, right? Hello, thank you so very much for being here with us. From Slovak office in Taiwan. So important, Michaela. Thank you so very much for being here. Okay, so having introduced all of the distinguished guests here, I'm also going to give the floor to the very distinguished chairperson. He's the chairman of the Taiwan Friendship Group, Mr. Peter Osuský, who just received this morning. We conferred him, the Taiwan Friendship, the highest honor, diplomatic honor, for thanking him for all the outstanding contributions he has made for deepening relationship between Taiwan and Slovak, and for the exemplary spirit of fighting for defending democracy and human rights he has shown us. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Yeah, floor is yours.
Yes, dear friends. Okay. Yes. I would say, since 8 years involved in matters concerning Taiwan when I became the chairman of the Friendship Group of Taiwan in Slovakia. Taiwan and Slovakia went a hard way until we became democracies, And as we in Czechoslovakia had been members of so-called Camp of Peace and Socialism behind the barbed wire under the hand of the big brother called Soviet Union, so I was, since my youngest age, somehow vaccinated against totalitarian suppression of human rights, freedoms, and democracy. So it was a clear decision for me to stand behind Taiwan, which is permanently in a hard situation of endangered country, which is prosperous, democratic, hardworking 23 million of people that are in the world, in different organizations, set aside, set somehow and not accepted fairly as any other country in the world. So I see and saw it as my duty to do best possible that I could to introduce the fact that you, 23 million of Taiwanese, deserves equal treatment like people from Sweden, Spain, Austria, or Slovakia. That's why I'm somehow fighting for the fact that your embassy in Bratislava, which is now led by David Lee, who did a lot for building bridges between our countries, couldn't be named embassy. And he is not ambassador, he is representative. And that's totally unfair, because as any other representative of any country, he deserves to be ambassador. And your flag should hang on the building where is your representative office. That is why when Lithuania, and it was a heroic act, few months ago, changed the name of your representative office, I would expect that the democratic world would do in 14 days the same, and if all democratic countries would do the same step, the criminal regime in China could do nothing against it. And that's why I could say what we and you need is a unity behind the idea of protecting democracy, independence, and human rights. So you in your country and the rest of the democratic world should stand behind your rights to be accepted as a full standard country in the world, starting with Olympic Committee and ending with World Health Organization or any other world organization, United Nations, UNESCO, what do you like. So I am doing it now step by step, and I am not a god on earth who could do it. But after these 8 years of contact, I would quote a famous sentence said by John Fitzgerald Kennedy, standing at the beginning of the 60s at the Berlin Wall, when he said, "Ich bin ein Berliner." So I could say with him, I am a Taiwanese, because you deserve that we stand behind you.
Definitely translation for these wonderful words. 嘉豪 please.
台湾跟斯洛伐克也是一路筚路蓝缕，才迈向今天的民主哈。那之前当然斯洛伐克也曾经在共产的，尤其是背后有苏联老大哥的压迫之下，也度过了非常多的岁月。因此 Osuský 主席他在年轻的时候其实就已经经历过非常多，就是共产对于人权、自由、民主的压迫。那现在台湾呢，也是随时面临着共产大国的一个压迫哈，但是呢，其实在台湾岛上的2300万人还是非常的勤奋的工作，还是过着自由的生活。可惜这2300万人，我们这块宝岛上面，这个国家没有办法跟其他国家一样平起平坐。因此呢，我觉得 我有这个义务要去努力，将这2300万人能够介绍给全世界，让这2300万人能够公平的，就如同瑞典、西班牙、奥地利跟斯洛伐克等国一样，能够为列邦公认，能够加入列邦之列。那甚至呢，我们也都看到了，就是李大使他在布拉提斯拉瓦，就是斯金呢，也是都非常努力，为台斯两国的邦谊建立非常多的关系，铺了非常多的路。但最可惜的是，就是我们在那边的代表处只能叫做代表处，那李大使也只能叫做代表。那事实上，他应该要被称作大使的，然后他所在的办公室的上面呢，应该也要悬挂着我们的国旗才对。因此呢，我们必须要团结一致，台湾跟斯洛伐克一起来，倡议，来确保全世界的民主以及自由，然后支持台湾以正式的成员加入所有的国际组织，包括了世卫组织、联合国等所有的附随组织。那甚至呢，在结尾呢，必须要特别去引述当初甘乃迪在60年代在柏林围墙那边讲过的一句话。那当时他说我是柏林人，那这边也要特别讲我是台湾人。
Thank you very much for the translation and for this powerful word. Thank you for being our inspiration. And so before I proceed, I just acknowledge President Shifan here. So Shifan, he is our 欧洲司的副司长, our Deputy Director of European Affairs. He is also here with us representing European Affairs. Thank you for being here with us. And also our next special guest we'd like to invite. He has been here in Taiwan many times. We're a good friend. He's President Droba from Bratislava region. So would you like to address the audience? Thank you.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank our hosts from the Republic of China, Taiwan, for preparing a wonderful and very contentful event. We are meeting both the representatives of the government and the representatives of trade associations and industry, especially the industries which are investing in our Slovakia. I'm here as a governor of Bratislava region. It's a very small region geographically, one of the 8 regions in my country, but we account for over 30% of the national GDP. We are also the center of science, technology, education, and the government. My purpose of being in Taiwan this time is to sign a bilateral contract between the region of Bratislava and the city of Kaohsiung. And this will happen tomorrow, specifically Friday. Tomorrow we are traveling to Kaohsiung. We have a meeting with the mayor, and on Friday morning we will be signing the contract. This contract will be the fundament for our cooperation, and I like practical results. What we expect from this cooperation is exchange in the area of academics and also in the area of science and technology. And I will foresee and make sure that once we sign the paper, the things will also happen. Now I think it's time for your questions, but I'm not the moderator, so I pass the floor back to you.
No, you can moderate anytime. Thank you. We need translation for your words, as I think we can all understand. 嘉豪, please. Thanks.
非常感谢中华民国台湾政府为我们安排非常丰富的行程。此行呢，我们也见到了非常多政府的代表以及许多产业的代表，尤其是我们最关心的产业。那我来自布拉提斯拉瓦省，这是斯洛伐克8个省的其中一个，算是比较小的省份，可是却占了斯洛伐克全国30%的 GDP。同时，布拉提斯拉瓦也是整个斯洛伐克的科研以及教育的中心。那此行呢，我们会在明天会南下到高雄去，然后到礼拜5早上呢，就会跟高雄市的市长呢签订布拉提斯拉瓦以及高雄市的合作伙伴协议。这个协议呢，会是布拉提斯拉瓦跟高雄未来合作的重要基础。主要的合作项目会是学者的交流，还有科技研发之间的等方面的交流。那在这份协议书正式签署之后，我也会特别亲自的去督促相关的项目跟内容呢，都能够顺利的推动。
Thank you very much. Okay, before we open the floor to the questions, I want that each one of the members of National Council, they can also say a few words so we can get to know them individually. In that context, I would like to invite the Honorable Ms. Anna Zemanová, so she can say a few words. You want to say hello? Just want to say hello to another? Yes. Yes, that's for you. Yes.
Ďakujem veľmi pekne za príležitosť navštíviť vašu krásnu krajinu.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to visit your beautiful, beautiful country.
Pre mňa je veľmi dôležité, aby sa demokraticky zmýšľaní ľudia demokraticky zmýšľajúce krajiny spájali a navzájom si vyslovili podporu.
For me, it's crucial that democratic people and democratic countries in the whole world unite and support each other.
Zvlášť citlivo to vnímam teraz, keď aj v Európe posilňujú nedemokratické síly extrémizmu a snahy o návrat totality v niektorých krajinách.
And I view that with a great sensitivity because I see that in Europe and also the other parts of the world there are totalitarian movements trying to seize power.
Držím palce Tajvancom na ceste ich demokratizácie a demokratickej postavenia krajiny vo svete.
I really support Taiwan's path for being a democracy, a stable democracy and an independent country.
Thank you so very much for your word, the Honorable Zemanová, and thank you so much for your translation. Great as always. Thanks. A very quick translation into Mandarin. Thanks.
非常感谢能够有这次机会来造访这个美丽的国家。那这个时刻，我相信全世界民主的人民以及国家能够团结在一起非常的重要，尤其在这个特别敏感的时刻，在欧洲还有许多的地区都有大国对外扩张侵略的这样子的行为。那在这边呢，也要重申支持台湾追求自由以及保持独立的一个道路。
Thank you very much, Madam. And next, I would like to invite the very Honorable Mr. Tomáš Lehotský. He is member of the Finance Committee to maybe say hi, a few words.
Thank you very much, Joanna. I would like to say hello to all the Taiwanese people currently watching the press conference. I have to say that I really admire Taiwanese people a lot because you are living each day under the threat of communist China, and you can face such situation in two ways. You can surrender and let China incorporate you in their system, or you can fight and stand up. And Taiwanese people really decided to stand up the threats of China, and that's really very inspiring for me. So fight, stand up as always, and all good to you.
Thank you very much. These are wonderful as well. We need Jiahao translation quick.
电视机前面在观赏的台湾的朋友们，大家好！我特别要跟大家说，我非常佩服所有的台湾人民，因为台湾人民每天都生活在中共的威胁之下。那面对这个威胁，台湾人民有两个选择，一个是选择投降，另外一个选择是起身对抗。那对于台湾这样子起身对抗的勇气，其实我们也都深深获得启发。
Thank you very much. Okay, so we also have from the Honorable Miroslav Žiak. So would I like to say a few words to the public of Taiwan?
Ni hao.
Very nice.
Thank you, Joanne. You pronunciation was great. I must say that when I traveling to Taiwan, I know just one person from Taiwan. It was David Lee. And now I've got one good friend, and it's David Lee. But until that time, I already met so many Taiwanese, which are now my very good friends. I've got opportunity to meet them on our trip, which organized David, and I think the Taiwanese are very, very lovely and really people with heart, and I really fell in love with Taiwan. And you've got a great supporter in me. So on every place where I go, I will very loudly speak about Taiwan. That is a one beautiful country. 谢谢.
Thank you so very much, Honor. That was so touching. Definitely we need translation as well, Jiahao. Thanks.
在来台湾之前，我唯一认识的台湾人，也结交的唯一的台湾的朋友，就是驻斯洛伐克我们台湾的李大使哈。但是此行呢，也在大使还有非常多人细心的安排之下，也有很多的机会见到非常多的台湾人，也都结交了非常多的好朋友。那所到之处呢，我也都大声的说，台湾真的是一个很美丽的国家。谢谢。
Thank you very much. And next, but least but not the least, we owe him so much. He's been very graciously helping us with the translation. The Honorable Mr. Andrej Stančík, he is member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. 我们请那个史丹奇克议员致辞。Thank you.
Thank you very much for the kind words. I don't like formal speeches, so I will speak from the heart. To be honest, I'm really surprised. Because I knew that Taiwan is a developed country, I knew Taiwan is a democracy, but I'm surprised in two ways. Because firstly, I thought about Taiwan as a traditional society, traditional state, because as Asian countries usually are. But I'm really surprised by the level of your democracy, by the high level of your human rights. And to be honest, Slovakia has much to learn from Taiwan in the field of democracy and human rights. I am surprised by the high level of representation of women in politics, but also in judiciary. I'm also surprised that Taiwan has a female president who is very well educated, very intelligent and wise. I'm also surprised about the level of the LGBT rights in Taiwan. That's something that Slovakia is lacking. And the other way I'm surprised is that the level of technological advance is really surprising, because I can feel the immense pressure on Taiwan from China, and there are two ways how to cope with pressure. One is to give up, because I imagine it must be extremely difficult to face a country that is 50 times the size of Taiwan and is saying and is waving this aggressive rhetoric about forceful integration of Taiwan into China and doesn't recognize Taiwan and pressures other countries not to recognize Taiwan. So it's immense pressure, but despite all of this, despite all these threats, Taiwan not only managed to be a stable democracy with human rights, but managed to be a success story in Southeast Asia. A story about how country can be democratic, free, and prosperous. And that is something that I really admire. Taiwan has my huge respect, and I have to be sincere again. I'm also surprised how kind and warm Taiwanese people are. So hats off to Taiwan, and as all this delegation, I will always support Taiwan. There's something all of the democratic world should do right now in facing Ukraine war, because we must never allow another authoritarian country to invade a weaker and free neighbor.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm so touched. Very powerful statement. Wonderful. We need definite translation, please, Jiahao.
我这次来到台湾哦，其实当然我本来就知道说台湾是一个美丽又民主的国家，但是来到台湾还是感到有一点惊讶哦。有几件事情让我感到惊讶。首先第一个就是在来台湾之前呢，对亚洲的整体的印象就是说这边的社会好像都蛮传统的，可是来到台湾却看到台湾的社会是一个非常民主的社会，非常讲究人权，然后而且整个科技啊都发展得非常的好。那这一点我觉得其实是一个斯洛伐克蛮值得学习的一点，就是说在这样子的一个环境之下，然后可以发展这样子的民主跟人权。而且台湾的民主跟人权甚至也反映在比如说在立法院里面有很多女性的立委，就台湾的 代议政治其实女性的代表是非常丰富的，而且台湾也有一个女性的总统，她教育程度很高，而且也是非常有智慧的一个人。而且台湾的社会也非常尊重 LGBT 的权利啊，这一点也是斯洛伐克也很尊重的一项权利。另外，台湾的科技非常的发达，其实，在台湾这边可以感受到，就是这边真的每一天面临中共非常巨大的压力，同时又要面对疫情。其实，光一个小的国家面对一个自己庞大50倍的一个恶霸，其实是非常非常困难的。非常有压力的事情，加上这个恶霸不只是直接霸凌自己，还压迫其他国家不能够去承认自己，这真的是非常大的压力。可是在这巨大的压力之下，台湾还是能够发展出非常稳定的民主社会，成为亚洲的一个很成功的一个成就故事哈。再加上台湾又能够发展成一个繁荣的经济体，因此对于台湾的人民，尤其台湾人民的良善啊，台湾人民的努力等等，都非常的感佩，也致上最高的敬意。那这边我要特别重申，就是说，来到台湾体验过这些之后呢，真的觉得所有的民主的国家更应该支持台湾，尤其是现在在乌克兰有战争爆发之际哈，我们真的要极力反对任何一个独裁的大国去侵略一个自由的邻国。
Thank you very much. Right now, I think it's time that we open the floor for questions from reporters. So we receive many questions. So we're going to divide that as we always do into different groups. We're going to group them. We have the first group of relationship between Taiwan and Slovakia. How do we deepen the relationship? How can we increase the areas of cooperation? So we're going to do that the first group first. Okay. There's a second group. It's about China relationship. Where they've been receiving threats from China and also China oppression to human rights. So we do the first group, okay? I'm going to read the questions for you, and you are free also to raise your hand to add more questions within the same category if you wish, okay? We received from Liberty Times, 自由时报一宣 from Emily. So Emily, 我先弄中文，你要自己念还是 Yeah, it's okay. Do you want me to read for you? Okay. 那好，所以说 Emily, she's right here, so she can add more questions. You can also correct me. 我们说自由时报一宣的提问在问俄乌战争爆发，这个国际局势巨变就您的观察，近几个月以来，斯洛伐克政府或民间对台湾的看法有没有产生变化 ？So Emily Lu from Liberty Times, since the start of the Russian-Ukraine war, the international situation has been drastically transformed. Based on your observations over the past few months, has there been any change in the way the Slovak government and people view Taiwan? Yeah, that is from Emily from 自由时报一宣. We also received questions from ET Today from 燕慈. So Yancy is asking, 请问您对深化台斯关系将驻斯洛伐克台北代表处更名为台湾代表处的一个看法 So ET Today, she's asking, as relationship between Taiwan and Slovakia are deepening, what would be your opinion on changing the name of the Taipei Representative Office into Taiwan Representative Office? Also related to this field, we have received from New Tang Dynasty TV, 新唐人永如在问斯洛伐克跟台湾官方的互动逐步升温，在强化产业供应链的韧性的方面，请问会希望接下来台湾跟斯洛伐克两国会有哪一些方面的合作 ？From New Tang Dynasty TV, and they ask, great strides have been making progress in the interactions and official interactions between Slovakia and Taiwan. What hope do you have for furthering our cooperation between the two countries in terms of enhancing resilience of industrial supply chains? Okay, we do these three questions first, Taiwan, Slovakia, and we would like ask the graciousness of perhaps Mr. Chairman and the Governor to answer. Thank you.
Perhaps colleague governor will speak about this cooperation because his field is the, I would say, agreement with Kaohsiung concerning exchange of academicians, young academicians, students. I will more touch perhaps the point I mentioned before when we spoke about the name Taiwan. In my opinion, it should be not Taiwan representative office. It should be Republic of China. Perhaps I am not one of many, but generally said, you are Republic of China. On the wall of this building, I saw Dr. Sun Yat-sen hanging. Each October 7th, we celebrate the birth of democratic China in 1917 with Taiwanese flag in our parliament, making photos of the group of friends of Taiwan with Taiwanese flag in the lobby of our parliament. So, generally said, you deserve not to be Taiwan. You deserve to be Republic of China. If I could choose, I am in fact representative of one China theory, but this is the China, not the despotic regime behind the strait. You are China of democracy, and that's why you deserve the name of China and not only Taiwan. But okay, that's the long way to fight. But of course, the democracies should step by step accept, like they did in a very small step in World Health Assembly, that you are here and you should be represented and accepted. And we should not let it be, like Beatles used to sing. No, let it be. We shouldn't let it be. We should take care about it. And we should raise our voice. At the beginning, there would be not very much of us. But we should not keep like the ape. We should open the mouth and do all possible in different international organizations in which we can raise the vote. I will, in beginning of July, head Slovak delegation to the OEC Parliamentary Assembly in Birmingham in United Kingdom. And I will do my best to put into the program a point concerning Taiwan and the fair treatment of Taiwan in this big organization covering 47 countries of Europe, United States and Canada. And I would say also in these different areas, we should make the world clear that it's not acceptable to keep the line of communist comrades from Beijing in attitude to your country. That we should stick to democracy and not to a despotic regime killing Uyghurs, killing Tibetans, killing people to harvest organs in Laokai. It's something that we should resist. And to do appeasement with evil, even if the evil has high GDP, it's not the way the world will be in order. So that's why we should resist evil and stick to all who are endangered and support them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. May we also have a translation for that, please? Your translation. Thank you, 嘉豪。
跟台湾方面的合作议题就交给省长回答，因为省长他这次来会主要跟高雄谈伙伴协议哦。那就台湾这个名字来讲哦，其实我个人认为，台湾应该就是用自己官方的名称中华民国，因为其实在斯洛伐克我们友台小组这边每一年的10月10号，我们都会用中华民国国旗来欢庆民主中国的在1911年的诞生哦。其实就算说这个世界上只能承认一个中国，也应该是承认这个民主中国，而不是另外一个共产中国。但是我们知道，其实民主的工作很多事情要一步一步来。那例如说，像是台湾加入 WHA 这件事情，其实就是我们一直很努力想要做的事情。很多事情其实我们常常都是摆一边，然后好像都不太做，就一直保持现状。但是我们不能够这么做。我觉得我们该说的话要张口说，该做的事情要努力做。那在今年7月的时候，我也会率领斯洛伐克的代表团参加在英国伯明翰那边举行的 OEC 的大会。这场大会涵盖了47个欧洲国家，还包括了美国以及加拿大。然后我会在这场大会当中努力的提出台湾的议案，要 希望说 OECD 的所有的会员国能够正视台湾公平参与国际的权利，同时也要同时这49个国家必须要坚持的民主，不应该让北京对我们下指导棋，尤其是这个北京的政权还是残害新疆人，还有新疆人、西藏人，还强摘器官等等的哈。其实我的核心理念就是，其实邪恶就是必须要努力去对抗。那面对邪恶不能够姑息，哪怕是这个邪恶的政权 GDP 很高也一样。
Thank you very much, Hao. So Governor, thank you so much.
I will address the question about supply chain, economic supply chain and industrial supply chain. The world is observing an economic downturn caused by the pandemic, and although it looks like we are out of the worst in Europe, it looks like incidence is returning back in some areas of Asia, and also your country is severely hit at the moment. We believe the economic cooperation between Slovakia and Taiwan is very intensive. Taiwan is one of the biggest investors in our country. We have 3 large companies, and there may be more large companies coming as the new suppliers for the automotive industry. And as far as I know, 2 of these 3 are prospering very well in Slovakia. One has some problems, but we are trying to be as good a partner as possible, provide fair economic environment, and we hope that the Taiwanese investors will be happy in Slovakia. Being a happy investor means it's an investor who makes money, who is producing things, and his products are sold on the global markets. And as far as this, my signals and the information that I possess tell me that things are going well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. And so translation for that as well. Thanks.
供应链方面的问题呢，当然我们知道，因为全球疫情的关系，其实全球的经济多少受到了一些冲击，但是台湾在疫情中的经济表现良好，欧洲也渐渐的在复苏当中。那台湾是斯洛伐克主要的投资者之一，那斯洛伐克也有三间企业在台湾，这当中有2间其实财务表现还不错。那我们当然要努力的做的事情呢，就是要在斯洛伐克这边提供一个非常良好的、非常友善的环境，让台湾的投资人在斯洛伐克投资能够更加的高兴。那就我目前掌握的资讯，目前台斯的经济合作发展的良好。
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, before we move to the next category, let me ask 现场有没有其他有关于台湾跟斯洛伐克？张家是不是 ？Okay, one additional questions. 张家是 from United Daily News.
Hi,
okay, 你可以坐着没关系。
For Chairman, we do use ROC as the name of embassies for countries we have diplomatic ties. So in that sense, do you agree, or will you pursue that your country to switch diplomatic recognition from Beijing to Taipei?
Shall we translate really quick? 嘉豪，把它翻中文，这样大家 OK
事实上呢，我们在有邦交的友邦当中所设的大使馆，的确就是用中华民国的头衔。那是不是想请问一下，斯洛伐克会不会推动斯洛伐克将外交的承认呢，从北京转回台北
？The problem is that the European Union has something like a general line of attitude towards one China theory and to all that results from this theory. In my opinion, it's an ill theory. It's a bad theory. But generally, it's really not easy to expect from a 5 million citizens country like Slovakia to be the total forerunner in this field in European Union. What we can do is to do step-by-step policy in this or that part, but I am a little bit skeptical that such a move of, I would say, a real step towards accepting Taiwan, Republic of China, Taiwan, as a diplomatic partner should be done on a bright level of European Union. That means it's not easy and expectable that until big important countries that are like United Kingdom, France or Germany will move towards this decision that only small countries could change the general bad position of European Union. It was a heroic gesture of Lithuania, what they did. I supported it immediately, adding myself to a group of supporters of Lithuanian decisions. But there is a sad fact that this tendency towards appeasement with evil has a bad European tradition. What I can say is that I hope that after the wake up for European Union, after the aggression of Russia against Ukraine, perhaps, I hope, the European wake up could lead also to switch in positions to other endangered countries by totalitarian regimes. And that could be a hope for Europe. I cannot guarantee, because my country, Czechoslovakia, where I was born, it doesn't exist anymore, was sold to Adolf Hitler in Munich Treaty 1938. And the big, powerful countries, France and the United Kingdom at that time, thought we will not have a war because this small, far-away country, and we will not risk to lose our business and similar things in fighting with Adolf Hitler because of Czechoslovakia. And this was a terrible attitude that led to Second World War with millions of dead people, and only then the countries perhaps accepted that they should resist Hitler or any empire of evil to avoid tragic results. So I am not sure if it could be a question of next future, despite of the fact that I am wishing that it should be so. But as I say, we should do step-by-step decisions and even if small steps towards a fair acceptance of Taiwan. I can tell the truth, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs is supportive to Taiwan. In our circumstances, I appreciate how is their attitude towards Taiwan. But the problem is that somehow we are in the European line. And that's, until now, not a European attitude. So it is.
Thank you very much. We need translation for that as well. Thank you, 嘉豪。
现在当前最大的问题是说，斯洛伐克作为欧盟的一个会员国，但是欧盟他们整体联盟是有一个整体的一中政策的。那当然，这个政策对斯洛伐克来讲并不是很理想，但是斯洛伐克作为一个500万人的小国家，很难去发难去把这个外交承认去予以扭转。但是就是只能一步一步来，可能从最小的事情做起，做任何能够做的事情，说任何能够说的话来支持台湾能够被国际所接受那但是真正有影响力，能够发挥影响力的国家，毕竟还是那些主要的大国家，像是英国、法国、德国等等的。这就是为什么当立陶宛发难要对台湾进行友好的时候，我本身也是第一个跳出来支持立陶宛的人之一。但是很可惜的是，其实欧洲传统上其实都会有对邪恶低头跟姑息的这样子的一个传统。那只能希望说，随着俄罗斯入侵乌克兰，欧盟或许能够稍微觉醒一点。那到最后或许能够就是让觉醒的欧盟去保护、去承认、去接受更多那些岌岌可危的民主国家。那其实像我本身小时候，当时捷克跟斯洛伐克还是同一个国家，可是当时在希特勒的压力之下，当时1938年的确英国跟法国也是希望说不要跟希特勒起冲突，就签了一个慕尼黑协议，然后那个协议就出卖了捷克斯洛伐克给希特勒，直到后来 非常多百万人生灵涂炭之后，才知道说希特勒这样子的一个邪恶政权是不能够姑息的，必须起身对抗。那这样子的一个历史，现在我们目前可能也在看到类似的一个状况在发生当中，但是只能说，斯洛伐克目前外交整体上是支持台湾的整个大方向啦，只是说斯洛伐克活在整个欧盟的整体的一个外交一中政策的方向当中了，只能说。能不能够尽力，就算再小的事情，能够支持台湾被国际所接受，任何的小事情，希望说都多少能够做一点。
By the way, speaking about small steps, here we are a proof of small step, because it could be a question if we are not afraid to be harassed by the Red China because of visiting Taiwan. And I feel myself with my colleagues as one of these small steps in which we are showing that we are not afraid. Like if we had been very pleased when we could in Bratislava Globsec conference hosted Minister Joseph Wu. And it was also we show with this that we are not afraid to have Taiwanese Minister of Foreign Affairs in Slovakia. And in my past in the parliament, we welcomed 2 ministers and 2 state secretaries of Taiwan in one delegation and a lot of other people from Taiwan. So, of course, we will not turn the world by this. But step by step, we can show that we are not afraid, that we will, I would say, go this way to show that Taiwan is our friend and we stand despite of the opinion of the Red China Embassy in Bratislava towards us, because we are representative of elected people from Slovakia and we should represent Slovak as a democratic country and not to accept the orders from the comrades from Beijing.
Thank you, very well said. Thank you very much. Jaho translation, thanks.
刚刚讲到，就是我们没有作为一个小小的国家，没有办法一口气去扭转整个大局势，去扭转整个欧洲对台湾的外交承认。但是我非常支持，就是任何能够做的小小的事情，那只要是能够支持台湾的小事情，都应该要去做。像这次访问台湾就是这样子的一件小事情。那除此之外呢，之前台湾也是有也有访问团到斯洛伐克去，当时我们也是直接让。台湾的外交部长吴钊燮部长，然后直接来到我们国会这边，那这样，然后一起来开会，这些也都是我们能够做的一些小小的事情。这些小小的事情虽然不会扭转大局，但是每一件小事情都能够让我们去彰显台湾就是我们的朋友。那就算如果中国在布拉提斯拉瓦的大使馆对我们有任何抗议的声音啊，或不好的声音，我们都必须要回应对方，说我们都是在斯洛伐克民选出来的官员，我们代表的就是斯洛伐克的民意，代表的就是斯洛伐克的民主。
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm conscious of the time, so let's do the next 3 questions together. Okay, and the first question is related to what we already talked, and it's from TBBS Ting Ting. Ting Ting is asking, after this visit to Taiwan, do you have plans to push for actual legislation or laws in the parliament in order to further deepen the relationship with Taiwan? If yes, what are some of the laws in consideration? 婷婷在问，就是这一次访问台湾以后，是不是他们有意在国会会实际推动深化台湾跟斯洛伐克关系相关的法案？那如果有的话，可不可以请议员们分享，会考虑推动哪一些方向？ Also, we have questions received from Tang Dynasty from Yongru, and she's asking related to China. 永如提问，斯洛伐克的国会也相当关注中国人权。早在2017年，占国会1/3的人数的39位的国会议员里面，就发出公开信给北京，谴责中共犯下活摘法轮功学员器官这样的反人类的罪行。其中包括3位来访的这个贵宾，有副议长劳伦契克、犹太小组主席欧苏斯基，还有议员席曼诺娃。在中国人权议题上，你 你们认为台湾跟斯洛伐克两国有哪一些可以合作的共同价值观呢？新唐人提问。Okay, Tang Dynasty asking, the Slovak National Council has paid close attention to human rights in China. In 2017, 1/3 of the council, namely some 39 members of the National Council, issued an open letter to Beijing reprimanding the Chinese Communist Party for engaging in crimes against humanity, including organ harvesting among Falun Gong practitioners. Among those members today, we honor that three of you are with us today. We have Deputy Speaker Laurenčík, we have Chairman Osuský, and also MP Zemanová. And so with regard to human rights issues in China, which common values shared by Taiwan and Slovakia can serve as the basis for cooperation on this issue? Also regarding China, we have received questions from Apple Daily News from Faya. 苹果日报志玲提问，志玲问：此行来台湾是不是会已经面临来自于中国的压力，或会不会担心后续有来自于中国的压力？ Apple Daily News, have you faced any of the pressure coming from China before coming to this trip, or are you concerned? Are you afraid about any pressure you may receive from China after your following trip to Taiwan? So, if that's okay, we do these three questions together. Yeah, thank you.
I can answer the last one. I mentioned it before. We are not afraid. We will not be afraid. And if there is opportunity, we will come again and welcome Taiwanese colleagues and friends in Slovakia. So there is nothing we could be afraid if we are standing behind a democratic and fair country. That's also to the second question concerning the common values. In fact, it's quite easy answer. We stand behind all common values because we have values that are common for Slovakia and for Taiwan. There is no difference in values of a democratic country than democracy-loving citizens. That means we should stick together to the values on which Sun Yat-sen and Lady Tsai and all of you and all the citizens somehow stand. No one, I hope, in this room wants to have a dictatorship or to have something like totalitarian regime. So our value are democracy, freedom, and independence at all. Concerning the laws accepted in Parliament, generally we have to say that there do not exist and couldn't exist any special law on Taiwan. Because the laws on the field of economy or on the field of, I would say, like today there was signed an agreement on justice in between our two countries, but generally our laws are, I would hope, make fair for investors. We should guarantee them the ownership. We should guarantee them fair treatment by, if necessary, by other laws, by taxes. So there is nothing special for Foxconn or Delta. We treat in the same manner Volkswagen or Kia. That means, perhaps it's not widely known, but Slovakia is per inhabitant the first car producer in the world. No one country in the world produces so much cars as Slovakia, counting 5 million of citizens. But as I say, it's only our role as lawmakers to insist and control that the law are not damaging investors who are coming in fair way and should, in concurrence with others, show their quality, give work and opportunity and jobs to our citizens, pay taxes and earn their money they solidly deserve. That's the whole story. No special laws on Taiwan.
Thank you very much. Okay, we need translation of these important words.
面对中国的压力，我们当然是不怕，因为我们本身深信着民主跟自由。那我们不但不怕中国的压力，我们来到了台湾，甚至以后还有任何机会，我们还会想要再 造访台湾，甚至呢有机会的话，我们也要邀请台湾这边的朋友们来造访我们斯洛伐克。那当然啦，就是台湾跟斯洛伐克在许多共同价值方面并无二致哦，尤其是在民主自由等方面的。而且我也相信，台湾在座的各位并没有任何人希望在独裁的政府底下呢过生活。至于立法方面呢，我们不会去针对任何的国家立法，甚至所以也不会有什么特别对台湾的一些立法的作为。但是我们作为立法者，我们的责任跟义务就是必须要成立相应的法律，适当的法律，能够来保障，比如说在经济体当中所有的投资人，然后所有的人他们都有平等的工作权，然后所有的人都能够获得平等的对待等等。这才是我们立法者真正在立法工作上面的时候应该要保持的一个态度，跟我们所要履行的义务。
Thank you very much. I have no more questions here. 我这没有问题，我不知道有没有现场有其他的媒体 ？Yeah, okay. Questions right now? Yeah, from 年代 Yeah, yeah. 要不要先介绍一下自己来？
您好，年代一电视提问，想请教主席是现在欧洲越来越多的国家和中国的关系渐行渐远，那您认为最主要的原因是什么？在可能受到中国制裁的情况下来台湾访问，是不是说斯洛伐克这边已经准备好，甚至是有对抗反制中国的方法？
好，非常谢谢廷涵的这个提问。We need translation for the question. Thank you. 谢谢廷涵，谢谢。
Chairman Osuský, now more and more European countries are distancing themselves from China diplomatically, and also considering that Slovakia is sending a delegation right now to Taiwan, and also many other European countries are also doing the same. Has Slovakia formulated a measure to counter against Chinese measures?
There is probably nothing I could say specifically formulated against China way of doing policy. It's, I would say, the general attitude we should have against each despotic regime like Russia, for example. So we even didn't accept any law about Russia. We accepted the law in parliament about support of Ukraine. That's another thing, but it is more economical and financial law. So generally, if, and I hope it, as I mentioned, similarly to attitude to Russia, the European countries will see, I would say, similar situation for Taiwan. We should be ready to stand behind Taiwan. And it could be a positive point in the tragedy of Ukraine that a despotic regime that thought that he will win in 3 days and overcome Ukraine found out that it's not such an easy task. And I am sure that when China has seen the attitude of democracy against Russia, by the way, Slovakia's gas support is nearby until now 95% hanging on Russia gas. But we are switching step by step, which is not an easy task, because, of course, there is not a lot of free gas waiting for Slovakia, but we are doing it to show that we are together with all that have this way of attitude to aggressive country like Russian Federation. So I am sure that we would do the same against China, even if we are not a big country. But as I said in previous part of speech, we should stick together. And if we are unified, then the enemy or the potential aggressive state will see that it needn't to be such an easy task like we thought, that we will run over Taiwan in 3 days. And if democracies, especially United States, of course, will stick to their, I would say, historical attitude, I hope for, at the end, peaceful future of your country, which I wish to you from my heart.
Thank you very much. Definitely translation for this word. Thanks.
说反制中国，我们目前没有说有所谓的特定的一些做法，但是我们整体在态度上面，我们是会去针对，比如说有侵略意图的国家或者有侵略行为的国家，像俄罗斯。是俄罗斯在侵略乌克兰的时候，当然我们国会基本上在财务上面是会 支持乌克兰的，我们有通过这样子相关的决议。那基本上整体，如果要看整体欧洲国家对中国的态度的话，我们可以先参考就整体欧洲国家对俄罗斯的一个态度，就是说，基本上欧洲国家一方面在目睹俄罗斯在入侵乌克兰，同时也都知道说类似的事情很有可能会发生在台湾身上，就是说台湾的就是发生在乌克兰的这种悲剧发生在台湾是一个可能性，所以我们必须随时准备好这样子的一个可能性。那相信在中国其实也都看在眼里，就看到说全世界的民主国家其实对俄罗斯采取这样的一个态度，然后像即便是斯洛伐克是一个小国家，然后面对这种具有侵略意图的侵略行为的大国家的时候，我们基本上还是有我们的作为。那所以这个时候，我们这些民主国家必须要团结一致，才能够有效遏阻可能潜在的一个侵略者，或者是现有的侵略者。这就是我们保护民主的一个方式。
Okay, thank you. So if there's no any other questions, 如果记者朋友都没有其他的提问的话，我还有自由想提是吧？好，来玉轩来自由时报 Emily。
不好意思，我想要请教一下，因为那个立陶宛去年退出了那个中国与中东欧的17+1合作机制，然后对于是不是继续参加这个机制，捷克这边好像也是说会考虑所有的选项。那我是想要请问说，因为这次来台湾的议员们是来自议会的不同委员会嘛，想要问看看说斯洛伐克政坛目前对于这个机制相关的讨论大概是什么样的发展，看法怎么样？
We need translation for the important question.
As we know, there was a pact between Central European and Eastern European countries with China. It's called the 17+1 pact with China. And you also are aware that Lithuania backed out of this pact last year. And as this delegation is formed by many parliamentarians from across many committees at the National Council of the Slovak Republic, I would like to ask your position on the 17+1 pact with China.
It's really my personal position. It's to go away. That means we needn't to be one of 17+1. And we should do it perhaps step by step in deterioration of our representation in this. That means not send minister there, not participate on highest level, and then step by step go away.
Thank you very much. Translation for that, please.
基本上我们的态度就是这样子，跟17+1跟中国这样子的一个协议，应该是最好是要保持距离，不要参与了。那当然也不是说马上就是直接，就是大家就是直接撤出，我们应该是要逐步淡出哦。比如说，可能慢慢降低参与跟中国对话的层级，可能就之后就不要派部长层级去，这样子逐步的降温，然后最后淡出。
By the way, a small addition, perhaps it's not known to you, Taiwan is much more important investor country in Slovakia than the mainland China. If all the investors from mainland China would go tomorrow away, Slovak economy can be with foods on table and nothing happens. So we should appreciate real partners and friends and not to be a small dog of 17+1, because the real partner, speaking about China, is this China.
Very well said. Okay, translation, please, 嘉豪。
那这边要特别补充一点，就是台湾其实是远比中共还要重要的斯洛伐克的一个投资伙伴哦。就算一夜之间，所有的中国投资人都离开了斯洛伐克，斯洛伐克人还是有办法温饱的。所以其实我们必须要正视我们真正的一个投资伙伴，而不是那个17+1。就算说跟中国是投资伙伴，也应该是这个民主的中国，而不是另外一个中国。
Thank you very much. I think there's no more questions, and so I would like to 应该没有问题了哦。那我想就请我们再谢谢我们的这个议员们。I would like to ask me to join me in thanking to each one of the very distinguished members of the National Council from Slovakia for the inspiration for their historical visit, so significant and so important, so inspiring for all of us, especially each one of you for making the time, making the trip to Taiwan. Also to the governor, our deputy speaker, our Mr. Chairman, each one of our very distinguished member of the National Council, and also to thank you, each one of you, for making the time, to our press, for being interested in the relationship between Taiwan and Slovakia, and for letting the words be known in the whole country and through the world. 所以非常谢谢大家今天的参加。So at the end, I think request of the reporter, we do a group picture. 我们最后合影好不好？ And for that purpose, I invite him for group picture. 我们请我们的大使 our Mr. Mayor from Malaki, you must be in the picture. Ambassador, please join us. Michaela, please, you must join us, please. Yes. Yeah, 你好 Yeah, let's join together. 我们大家一起照相来 Please, our speaker in the middle. 来 Please. Yes. 麻烦我们大家一起照合照好不好 Yes. Yes. Ambassador 示范 Yes, also Mr. Mayor, please. Very much. Okay. So traditionally, yes. 这样 OK 吗？这样可以吗？喂，椅子先搬，是不是？有人同仁帮我们搬，同仁帮我们把它 Yes. Yes. Okay. So they want the over the chair. Okay. 谢谢媒体朋友们还帮我搬，不好意思，感谢，谢谢一璇。Okay, like this. So how about okay? We 都看中间吗 ？Okay, look at the center. 好不好？一个大赞 thumbs up. Yeah, two or okay. We do two. How about thumbs up first and then we do the heart. Yeah, we do thumbs up first and then we do the heart. Yeah. Thumbs up. Okay. Okay. So how about the heart as suggested by Žiak? Like this. I think that this is the heart from Taiwan. We do this. Yeah, I think I Taiwan. Yeah, love Taiwan. That's okay. We get a shot. Yeah, 大家都看到了吗？都可以了，是不是？好 ，Thank you so very much. Thank you, 谢谢大家。Thank you very much. Thank you, 谢谢。Thank you. Thank you. That was very successful. Thank you. Thanks for your translation. No, but you. Visit. The superstar.
Yes.